So, what we wanted to achieve? Guys, let's take a closer look. We have finished this block, and now we understand what we really want and what we would like to convey to you with the help of Artery 2.0. We want to create a balanced and ecological blockchain ecosystem. For example, if I set such a task for you, or we would set the task for each other as a board of directors. Imagine we are having a meeting and we have already discussed the problems with you. Our next task is to figure out how to create a balanced, eco-friendly blockchain system, improve products by gathering resources, to keep them stable for having a real opportunity to have P2P and B2B markets. These are the tasks we must solve together. And we need to increase our attractiveness for the aspects. For developers, this is also very important. Imagine how many opportunities we lose because of missing these elements. And we won't be able to develop further if we don't expand the team. And we have a super professional team. We proved it many times, despite all doubt. We can say that over the past 10 months, we have definitely convinced of this, and our guys are very strong. And in order to scale them up, we have to balance our working abilities. Create some kind of balance. First, we need to correct the essence in the company so our partners could understand our aims and prospects. We need to change position and ideology. And our next task is to make our system attractive at any rate. To make it attractive not only when it's dollar. Investment attractiveness should increase because it is our common business now, guys. And we need to organize it in such a way that would be forward growth. We should change it somehow. Information disclosure and obvious prospects. So we need to make the information understandable for the perception of our partners. And since we have, I don't even know how to say it rightly, but we are all different people and we all have different mental abilities. Someone perceives information quickly, someone slower, and after all, business is complicated if you look at it from above. It seems simple if you're downstairs and you don't understand its whole structure, but if you look at it from above, then you understand how difficult it is and how many elements it contains, and it is necessary to make it clear for everyone how the system works, teach to work with it, so they will be able to explain the principle of the work to the others. And at the same time, other problems also need to be solved anyway. We need to do self-regulation, our tokenomics, burning, and where and how to do it, where to apply them. It's also important, and network security is also a very important issue. We will discuss this topic in more detailed way when we will go through audit. It also needs to be well understood and explained. Our next task is to create attractive conditions for promotions. Problems were defined, tasks we keep discussing, and we must create attractive conditions for promotion for each partner and network entrepreneur in our company. It should be interesting, first of all, but how to do it if the problem is in MLM and all the problems that we discussed keep rolling like a snowball? Building strong long-term teams. This is also a challenge. How to do it without MLM? Simply how, guys? Sometimes it seems that this task isn't solvable at all, understand? And how can we make sure that without the presence of MLM we're still going to have the ideology of comment? We are not us without it. And the reasonable value of the tariff is also a very important point. The tariff is truly something valuable. In fact, it is the entrance to the ecosystem. And not as it works for us now and for the last year and a half, that the tariff was essentially like a promise that a mentor would work with you. The tariff is an opportunity to build your team, build with all that. Can it be called as a great value? Especially under the current conditions, such as in reality. And we need to expand our target audience and we need to create a new offer. When the Artery 2.0 system was being developed, we had a clear task ahead of us. We needed to create an understandable, transparent, implementable, and executable offer. That is, an attractive offer should go to the market and it really should be interesting. And we need to create this offer to the market and somehow to do it by replacement of MLM to the more relevant solution. And in order to save the tariff, teams, and everything else. It turns out into some kind of puzzle, which we again need to solve somehow. To sum up, to see something new, you need to do something new. Specifically, we all together need to do something new. This very important point, guys. What do you think if you were given this task now? What would you say? Is it doable? Or is it easier to close and open a new company? Close, making organization, creating new project, making new tokens. Somehow explain to everyone that unfortunately it didn't work out and there are a lot of problems. We're not able to solve them. What do you think would happen? Therefore, these are things which we lived all that time. Wait a second, I'll have some water. What is Artery 2.2 for you, for community? First of all, it is a network business. At this stage, it is. And community is very important, of course, but in fact, when you looked at it, then you realize that community should be built around technologies is the main issues. And we have already said many times that high quality technologies are the base that should keep staying unchanged. This is like our bonfire around which we should co-op. That is, the community needs to be connected in this way, and all existing problems must be solved anyway. And on the slide, you can see the main components of the Artery 2.0, but now for us. We contribute elements such as blockchain technology, our products such as ArtPad. It will be ready very soon. We are still developing it. Soon it will be announced and launched for a test period. Damn, that's a whole different story. Someone stopped believing in that, but I can say that everything that stays behind the scenes promising due monetization and channels. If you just know how the developers are getting on fire in a good way with this project, we had to go to the another level and develop Artery 2.0. Otherwise, the development team would simply lose motivation to develop anything further. A little further, we will show you a screenshot and the way the developers looked at it. VPN, storage, Web 3.0 area, it's all ours. It's ourselves. This what we look like. Products for people cannot exist without people. It's obvious that we can't create products if we don't have a community. When we don't have people who could use it all. It needs to be created. We must make a strong foundation, community, and so on. And apart from the fact that we must solve all our problems, we must also leave all the positive and the best elements of our system and keep it working. Well, guys, Let's have 20 seconds of a break. While the break, I would like to add, we actually have a large number of tasks and problems that we need to be solved, but we have a huge community, 300,000 users, and of them approximately 200,000 holders of our coins. It is perhaps some of holders forgot even about it, but despite of this, people still interested and keep buying our coins. The community continues to discuss, ask questions, and I have been in different cities recently, and I realized that even if it seems that people have forgotten about this coin, this is a misleading opinion. They still worry about it because personal money are invested in the coin and they believe that they have invested in the company and are holding the asset. And of course they are worried. And talking with them, I realized that many people are worried about this. Many of them took a pause right now. And what should we say to them? Which prospects do we have? How we are going to solve existing problems? How can we get out of the dead end in which we've got? Passing through this stage, analyzing it, you begin to understand that the process of repairing the fundament which we have been creating together for almost 2 years can last endlessly, but there is only one conclusion. It's still in despair. Demolish the foundation and build a new one would be the right decision, but to change everything completely, create a new token when we published slide 2.0, the first thing I personally saw was a question, will there be a new coin? And in the process of transformation, we had to take into account each detail. We can say that we were standing in the middle of the field and bullets were shooting at us from all sides, questions from haters, from members of the community, and from notable people, etc. But we endured everything and found the best solution and managed to see the best moments from the system that we created for 2 years. Of course, to quit everything is the easiest way, but there is always the opportunity to figure it out, fix the system, and move on, and even to take a step forward. Let's continue about what RTV 2.0 for us. What exactly is it so that you and I can stay in a sync? First of all, these are the products which we're talking about, and if you think about it and analyze it today or tomorrow, by the way, at the mastermind will show you competitive advantages in VPN and also storage. We have a great opportunity to occupy this niche. And most important, this is not a fantasy anymore. We have a great potential towards space. We looked and analyzed which technologies they have. And understanding our technologies, we realized that we have great advantages, really. I won't go into technical details for now. Let me just say that it really is. And you can take the same game as an example. If we do everything as we plan, then it will be a very cool product. We must shoot. We will be on the right track. That's it. When something new is created on the market, for example, if you take a look at any building company now, you will immediately enter the already foreign market. But if you now will think about artificial intelligence or about some other innovative things, VR glasses, artificial intelligence, etc., you will understand that you can't enter the existing market. You need to create it from nothing by yourself and with people who are also interested in this. So you are on the right track. And those who get there too and take the right position as big giants such as Microsoft or Google, something like that, they got there at just the right time. But at the same time, it was on time for them, while for ordinary people it was quite a long distant future. And I want to add about technologies. They are tightly connected with the internet and data transmission. We discussed it recently at Zoom meeting that we don't know yet what will happen when 5G will appear. In general, it's already appeared in some cases, and every year the production of SSD drivers is increasing. They are becoming more powerful and faster, and the internet is becoming more powerful too. And our task, in fact, is to accumulate the foundation by the time it appears in a free access or another option option is to create when it has already appeared, which is much more difficult because we are wasting a lot of time. Yeah, okay. Let's continue talking about what Artery 2.0 is for us. I'm sure that in many aspects we are thinking in a sync. The products in our ecosystem are built on the Cosmos blockchain base. For those who already understand, we have a database of analysts who are also present in the masterminds today and who in the Cosmos ecosystem every day open all the doors and explore what is happening there. Therefore, we keep our finger on the pulse and understand how it all develops. Arteries are people, it's also clear. These are people who have invested and continue to invest a lot of effort in the development of the project. Naturally, someone gave up for obvious reason. We have no complaints about them. Someone, on the contrary, against this background, began to reveal their potential more. These are people who made the collective listing. Special thanks to all those who were involved in this. Because can you just remember how we did it? I even remember people who wrote in private messages that we were doing some kind of nonsense. They also sent screenshots via chats that we kind of crazy persons, but in spite of everything, we did it, and it brings us a great positive effect. Everything works. The most important thing is that people like it. They understand the system. Without this step, we wouldn't be able to move forward. This step was very brave and ambitious. Not everyone is able to take such a risk. But despite all the nuances, we managed to raise a huge amount of money. Actually, these are people who want to be part of Web 3.0. Now it seems to me that this is becoming kind of a hype. It seems to me that soon even Yandex will declare that it wants to develop in Web 3.0. Sberbank, as I know, well, recently I watched the chairman's speech where he outlined promising topics that will be relevant and will keep in development very active for the next 15 years, including artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and Web 3.0 technologies. And in fact, Web 3.0 is no longer a joke and will soon be a routine thing. It is necessary there to be a decentralized resources. If we will not make it clear for us and won't be able to explain it to our community members, we will just lose a lot of opportunities. That's it. That's a simple things. More about artery. I would say that, guys, you can see now the slide about which I was talking about. Zoom in if you need to take a closer look. We underlined it for a reason. Artery developers. When we discussed Artery 2.0, it took a lot of meetings, communications, correspondence, Zoom calls, etc., where all the new technologies, innovation that will be in Artery 2.0 were agreed, and there was such a cool demonstrative slide in which guys wrote the developers are creative people, and we are now talking about professionals and not about those who just push the buttons. And they also have a strong sense of fairness. Our guys who developed our products, they also take this position. When they saw the principle of work of Artery 2.0, they were very impressed with it because they saw fairness there. This is what they told us. And I want to add, of course, we asked them first if they allow to publish some parts of our correspondence. This message is very touching. Of course, it's taken out of the context. It was about the fact that the productivity in the development team has greatly increased. Initially, we were promised one update period, but because there were so many different things, they needed time to test because not everything could work. But when we fully explained how the system worked to them, and the lead developer said that the initial timeline was significantly reduced because the team liked the principle of fairness and their enthusiasm for solving existing problems grew. Exactly at that moment, I realized that we are one team and we are moving towards to the common aim, and we got rid of the unnecessary issues and increased overall productivity.
потому что я знаю, в каком контексте оно происходило.
Now you will be able to zoom in next slide in case something isn't visible for you and make everything clear what we took into account when we were creating our new Artery 2.0 system. We can say that these are not all indicators and not all events. We want to show just a part so you could understand from which point we started creating this project. We had a lot of mathematical calculations, modeling, as I said, and started from the daily issue, counted in progression, delegation statistics. Here are the main challenges that we have faced in the latest year and a half. A selection was made, everything was calculated to make it clear from a mathematical point of view, analyzed our project. And looking at the community from the outside is one story, but analyzing project statistics in a completely different story. And you would probably come to completely different conclusions. Separation statistics were taken into account for the entire period, various progressions were calculated, and we will show you this later at modeling part. The number of wallets, registration, activation, the growth of wallets at the best and worst of times, and there were a lot of tables. The growth rate of wallets with different balances is also an important indicator to understand how the project develops according to statistics. Market analytics. Now I will quickly run through the main aspects. Analytic of external information, burning method, efficiently, sort of long terms, various scenarios were calculated, but we have always had a reference point. This is a mission. Always, whatever was counted. And we must come alive to the finish line. This complicated task. But you can crawl to the finish line half dead. But this is absolutely not beneficial for us. We must come happy, healthy, secure to the finish, not sick and lame. Therefore, all points were taken into account in RTV 2.0. Analysis of investment attractiveness. This applies to companies that work in the field of space, in the field of blockchain. DeFi projects. This was all taken into account. We will show you the statistics further. We even thought that maybe this is too much unnecessary information for people. They might get tired of it. But no, it is impossible not to say it, because we believe that you should clearly understand what is under the hood, the dynamic of changes in the number of completed and uncompleted nodes. That's all we had in the first half of the year. In the second half of the year, all this was calculated, showed, and analyzed. Factors of influence on the volume of coin in circulation, analysis of competitive advantages. You can zoom in and read it all over again. Tokenomics model, and they're on the way. Changes. That's it. We looked at the markets, what kind of bases are there. You have probably seen that posts now are appearing in the Telegram channel that shows that there are precedents. This is a normal story, it's not bad.